Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carrie and this is my book corner. If you're new here, I'm assuming you maybe found me from my first video, my first BookTube video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it down below. It gives you a little bit more insight into the kind of reader and person I am. But before I start this video, which is going to be all the books that I read in February, I did want to make an amendment or add an addition to my first video. One of the questions was, what kind of books do you read? And I had said, queer romance, fantasy, mystery, thriller, suspense, horror, all the fun stuff. But there is one kind of book genre, I guess, that I do also enjoy reading, and that is taboo. I wanted to get that out there because I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know not everyone enjoys those kind of books, but I do, and I will be talking about those kind of books on this channel. So if that's not for you, I'm totally okay with that. But I did want to clear the air and also add that. I don't know where my brain was when I filmed that video, but because I did read a taboo book this month, and I am going to be talking about it. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, add that in there. Before we started this video. Okay, cool? Okay, so as you can tell by the title or in the thumbnail, I am going to go over all the books that I read in February. I read 10 books, which is the same amount of books that I read in January, so very, very great start to my year. My yearly goal was 100. That's very soft. I'm not really hardcore about meeting my goal. If I make it, great. If I go over, awesome. If I don't get there, that's okay. I don't really mind, but I do like having a set goal and see if I can make it. So anyway, so I've read 20 books so far this year. Pretty good. February was a great reading month. I had a couple not super great ones, and then I had some great ones, and I also have a couple rereads. So if you're ready to get into it, so am I. So let's do this. The first book I read in February is the third in a series, The Reclusive Mountain Man by Casey Cox. I read the first two books of this in January. This follows three brothers who, you guessed it, they're all mountain men, and they're finding their loves. The first two books I did not really enjoy. I was really hoping this one I would like more than the other two, because it had an age gap. It follows Tal, who is the older gentleman, and Marsh, who is the mountain man. He's one of the brothers. This one is great in the fact that Marsh, he's a big mountain man, but he has a secret, and he's a bottom, which is, most people in his life just assume he's a big burly top, but he prefers the bottom. So his best friend Tal, the older gentleman, is a top, and he just always assumed that Marsh was a top too. They both have been in love with each other, basically through their whole friendship, but they never did anything about it. They didn't think they were compatible. I did not enjoy this very much. I think I maybe gave it 3 stars, 2.5. It was my favorite out of the 3, but I'm unhauling it along with the rest of the series. I don't know if Casey Cox is my author, so we'll see. But anyway, so that's the first book I read in February. The second book I read in February, I read on my Kindle app, and that is Disciplining My Brother Part 1 by Wolf Productions. This is, from the beginning of the video, what I had mentioned. This is taboo. It's with 2 brothers. There's also an age gap. I really enjoyed it. Wolf Productions, that's what their pen names is. It's I don't know how to say their name. I'm so sorry. Bria Alapu and Skylar Snow. They co-write all the time, and I know them from the Vitale Brothers series. If you haven't read that, I highly recommend it. But with Wolf Productions, they're strictly writing taboo. I call them little taboo treats, and I'm obsessed. This one was a great one to join the other stories that they've written. Like I said, there's an age gap with the brothers. The younger brother is kind of like a loser. He doesn't really have his life together. And he's basically just been living off of his parents, and his parents are like, we're done. You know, we're sending you to your older brother. So he goes to live with his older brother, see if his older brother can like set him straight. And boy, does he ever. They have a lot of fun. Well, you know, fun. It's, I don't want to get too much away because they're such short stories. But if you are into taboo at all, highly recommend Disciplining My Brother. It is a part 1. I really hope we'll be getting part 2 soon. But it was great, wonderful. It was another great addition to their taboo treats that they do. Okay, the third book I read in February is Mockingjay, the third book in the Hunger Games trilogy. I read Hunger Games and Catching Fire in January. Love them both. 5 stars, amazing. This wasn't my favorite out of the 3, but I think I'll still give it a 5 star. It's just I just prefer the action and the emotions in the first 2, especially the first one but the first 2 are great. This one is also great. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks this, but man, it is just like reading the movie. It's like I'm reading the movie. Really enjoyed this. I really wish I would have read these before the movies came out, but I don't even know how old I was when these came out, but I just wasn't into this kind of story, I guess. I don't remember ever being interested or ever hearing about them. I kind of wish I was, so I would know if, you know, how I'd feel, if I would feel differently about them versus the movies or whatnot. But this was a great addition, great ending to the series. I'm still determining whether I want to read the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes Snow Story. I did not enjoy the movie, so I don't know if I'll enjoy the book. But I'll probably pick it up anyway just so I can read the whole series. And I'm very excited for Hamish's book that comes out. Is it this month in March? If not, if I'm mistaken, sorry. I know it's this year. I'm super excited. And I really hope they make a movie because Hamish is probably my favorite character. So I love it. Great story. The next book I read was a Book of the Month pick, and that's The Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. I'm sorry if the cover is glossy or shiny, but I really enjoyed this one. This is the origin story of the queen from the Snow White fairy tale, and it is amazing. So she's a witch, Aelith, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce her name, Aelith. She's a witch, but she doesn't really have the powers that she should at whatever age she is. She also is carrying a lot of guilt over the death of her sister, and is also feeling betrayed and heartbroken for the loss of her girlfriend. And I really enjoy this. It has like politics, it has like court politics, you know, like in royalty, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed the intrigue of what happens in court with the ladies and in waiting and those kind of things. Her journey, Aelith's journey, especially in the beginning, I was rolling my eyes so hard sometimes because it didn't seem like she really had the maturity that she should have at her age. But eventually, once she kind of grew up over the course of the book and over the course of her journey, she really grew on me as a character. I really enjoyed it. The romance, I thought there was going to be more romance with her ex-lover, but it really wasn't too much. I'm assuming in the next one, in the next book, there'll be more of that. I hope. The ending of this, I could not turn the pages fast enough. Oh my God, it gave me chills. Oh my God, I was like kicking my feet. I wanted to clap and cheer. It was amazing. I cannot wait for the next story in this. I don't know, I think it's a duology. But this was a great story. I think I gave it 4.5 star, 4.75 stars maybe. Again, the only reason was because her immaturity for about half the book was kind of annoying, but after that, man, 5-star feelings. It was amazing. I highly recommend. The next book I read in February was on my Kindle app. It's called Better the Devil You Know by Bay Deckard. If you've read a Bay Deckard book, you know you just know, okay? If you haven't, you should give them a try. Just word of advice, triggers. You need to check triggers if you're going to read anything by Baedeker. The first book I read of his was an ARC read for Toxic AF, and I devoured that. It was so dark and depraved, and I loved it. The writing was amazing. But anyway, I'm not talking about that book. But this is a book that I really, really enjoyed. An author friend of mine, well, friend on Instagram, she recommended this, R. Phoenix. You will hear a lot about her on my channel. I'm promising that. She recommended this book for me because I finished Toxic AF, and then I read another book of his, Max. And then I was like, I don't know what, I need something else. I need something dark. And she said, read Better the Devil You Know. So I was like, okay, you got it. So I went on my Kindle app and I bought it. The whole time I was confused. I did not know what I was reading. My husband was like, I was trying to explain to him what I was reading because I didn't even know, and I don't think he had any clue what I was talking about. But holy crap. I mean, I thought like Toxic AF was dark, and I thought Max was like unhinged. This is dark. Okay, this man, the things he did to people, again, just check triggers. Very, very, very graphic. But man, the writing is so great because you actually smell the smells, and you get sick to your stomach, tasting these things, or like picturing these things going on in the same room as you. And it's disgusting, but it's amazing. I love that kind of writing. It kind of reminds me of Lauren Beale a little bit. Whenever she wrote Captured, it's like I could smell the brother and what he, like how disgusting he was. Like that kind of writing, I love. I highly recommend you check out Baedeker. But like I said, check triggers. I fortunately do not have any triggers. Not that I found anyway. So I'm fine with it. But whew, it is an absolutely unhinged time. But I highly recommend his writing. It's great. Okay, the next book is Fire and Water by Andrew Gray. This is book 1 in the Carlisle Cop series. I had seen his books all over Amazon, and because the covers are amazing. I love the models and the artwork and how they have it. So I had seen his books all over Instagram, and I was like, I don't know. Like I haven't really heard anything about him. But finally I decided to pick one up, especially because Carlisle, I grew up around Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So I was super excited to read a book that took place somewhere I actually knew. This one was okay. It follows Red Markham. He's the cop. He was in a car accident with his parents, and his parents died. But he was injured. So he's scarred on his face and his body, and he's super self-conscious about it. And during a case, he ends up meeting Terry, a lifeguard, perfect body, perfect 10, that kind of thing. And Red notices how good looking he is, but he overhears Terry telling his friend how basically like ugly Red is, because like with his scars and stuff, like, ugh, I would never want to look like that. So Red is like, ugh, of course, whatever. But eventually, another case comes and brings these two together, and Red has to basically end up protecting Terry from his abusive ex-boyfriend. And as it goes, they get closer, and Terry has to overcome his shallowness and learn to accept Red for who he is. And then the story goes from there. It's a romance, but the plot is really in the forefront too, with Terry's abusive ex situation and Red having to protect him. Which is fine. I'm fine with not a heavy romance. I'm fine with that. But my thing is, when you don't like one of the main characters, it kind of ruins the story for you. And that's how I felt about Terry. Red, loved. I love Red. He's amazing. Terry, I don't love him. Even at the end, I still don't love him. If you read this, I think you could probably guess why I didn't love him. There were some nice parts, but in the end, I don't know. I think I gave it like a 3-star. I'd probably give it maybe a 2.5 star if I would rate it again. I don't know if I'll be continuing the series. The second one in the series sounds really good. It's with like a social worker with a cop, and there's a kid that they're trying to save or protect. It sounds interesting. We'll see. I'll give it a little bit, and then I'll see if I'm in the mood to go back and try the series again. But I'm glad I read it. I might try one of his other series. He has like Carlisle Deputies, and he has like Carlisle Fire and all these different things. So and Troopers. I'm excited to try them out because I do like the writing. This just wasn't for me. All right, the 7th book, if I'm counting correctly, is let me get it. Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. This is book 3 in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. Go ahead, you can make fun of me if you want. I know people make fun of people who like these big blue alien smut books, but I love them. I don't care. This is 5 stars. This one follows Kira and Ehako. If you've read the story, you know Kira has the translator that the aliens like surgically implanted in her ear, so everything's translated, but she also hears like everything. And she's going a little crazy. She hates hearing everyone. Also, if you've read the books, you know that the aliens are known to purr, like resonate whenever they find their mate. And it's been happening with the humans. Obviously, that's what the books are. Their love story, finding their mates. She has not resonated with anyone. And she thinks she knows why. She has a secret. Ehako, he has not resonated with anyone, but he really likes Kira. So this is their story. Super sweet. I really enjoyed Kira's character. Ehako was a huge cinnamon roll. All he wants to do is make Kira smile, and I love that. I mean, he called her Sad Eyes the whole book, and he just wanted her just to smile and be happy and laugh. And he didn't care that they weren't like technically mates or whatever. He wanted to be with her, and it's so adorable. The story was great too. Okay, it's not just smut. If I'm the only one who thinks that, I don't know. It's not just smut. Okay, there's also storyline. Okay, through her transmitter, she finds out that the aliens who had kidnapped the humans are coming back, and they have to figure out what to do. So it was a little bit action-packed. I really enjoyed it. I'm super excited for the next one in the series because of what happened in this one. I can't wait. 5 stars, loved it. This might have been my top book of the month. I'm just saying. All right, next book I read is, like I said in the beginning, I had a couple rereads. I have been in the mood to reread this series for so long, and I finally picked it up again. From Blood and Ash. Have you read this series? I have, obviously. I read it in 2022, I believe, so 3 years ago now. And I loved it then. And guess what? I love it now. I might even love it more than the first time I read it. The first time I read it, I gave it 5 stars, and I still gave it 5 stars. But man, is this a 6-star book? It might be. I don't know. I had a blast. I'm sure you know the story, what this is about. It's with Poppy. She's the maiden. She's being held in the castle with the Duke and Duchess, and she always has to wear a veil. Her face is always covered. And then Hawk is her personal royal guard. I love it. I love this book. I love this series. Even though like I knew what was going to happen, I still felt like I was reading it for the first time. I love this universe. I'm so glad I picked this up. I read it so fast. I'm having such a great time. I know a lot of people say they don't like the series. I don't care. I love it. You know, you do you. You read what you want, right? I'm going to keep reading from Blood and Ash. I love it. And I can't wait to continue the series again. I love it. Highly recommend. You know, I highly recommend this romantasy. I love it. All right. We're near the end. Okay. Book number 9. You would think that it might have been like the next Blood and Ash book, but I had cracked open that book, and then I got an email saying that I got the arc for my current favorite author, J.J. Mulder's new book, On the Edge, SCU Hockey. So I shut the Blood and Ash book. I put that away, and I was like, I'm reading this book. I'm not getting up until it's done. And that's what I did. I read it in a few hours and I loved every second. It was so great. It's with Henry and Atlas. If you've read J.J. Mulder, you know Henry. You know him. You love him. You are cheering for him. You know he deserves everything in this world. And you know he's too precious for this world. He's too pure. And he deserves everything he wants. I love Henry. You meet Atlas. You never met Atlas before. He is cranky. He is broody. He is mad at the world. He is lonely. Okay? He won't admit it, but he is lonely. He's actually roommates with Henry's teammate on the hockey team. So it's like, yeah, he's a little connected. But this story was great. I mean, like I said, it follows Henry and Atlas. They end up having a class together and they have to sit together, and the class is like a communications class. So they're going to have like a project to do, which means they basically have to work together the whole semester. Henry, super sweet, super nice, lovey-dovey. I love him. He always has a smile on his face. He's nice to everybody he meets. And Atlas just hates him. He just hates him. He hates that he's always smiling. He hates his accent. He hates his darn khaki pants and polo shirts that he wears every day. He hates his perfect hair. He hates all that. He hates that Henry always brings an apple and puts it on the corner of his desk just in case Atlas gets hungry. I know. I want my own Atlas. I want my own Henry. Okay? I know. I want my own Henry. It's like, oh. This book is so stinking cute. I wanted to cry for Henry because Atlas was being so mean to him. But as you know, love stories progress, and love stories progress. That's all I'll say. I really enjoyed it. Is it my favorite of Mulder's books? No. But I'm super glad we finally got Henry's story, because he's been, like I said, he's been in the background and he's so sweet. He is the best friend. He loves his friends more than anything, and he would do anything for them. And I love that kind of person. So I definitely recommend this series if you like hockey romance. This one is different from her other books because it has some ace representation. Henry is ace. And Atlas, I'm pretty sure, is bisexual. So you get that dynamic. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend her books. And my favorite parts were the fact that you also see characters from the other books. I love that she does that. So she has the Offside series, which was the first books I read by her, okay? Which is like the professional hockey players. And then she has the SCU hockey series, which is the college hockey team. I love it. So it's like, I love reading the SCU hockey books, because then I, like in this, On the Edge, I got to see my favorite characters from the Offside series. So I got to see Corman, I got to see Sam, I got to see Troy. I love it. I love it. And then you also see the boys from the SCU hockey series. So we saw Carter and we saw Max and Luke. I can't recommend her books. I can't recommend them enough. Honestly, like I said, she is my current favorite author. Auto buy. I will read anything she puts out. Anything. She already has, I'm pretty sure, like 2 more books coming out this year. And she says they're already written. Just waiting to release them. She's amazing. She is amazing. I highly recommend. Check her out. I recommend all her books. They're great. But On the Edge was great. I gave it 4 stars. So it's still, like I said, it's not my favorite, but it's still an amazing book. I highly recommend it. Okay, last but definitely not least is another reread, and that's Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Okay, second book in the Blood and Ash series. The first time I read this series, this was my favorite book in the series. Pretty sure this still is. Though granted, like I said, I really enjoyed reading Blood and Ash again. That was, oh my god, so fun. So that, I don't know, these are getting kind of close, in the order, but I love this one. You continue Poppy and Hawk's story, and I loved it. I can't say much. If you haven't read this, I can't say much because, like I said, it's the second, so it continues on, and certain things are revealed, so I don't want to spoil you guys. Granted, this is an old series, but if you haven't read it, I don't want to spoil it. Highly recommend. This one is great. Their love really flourishes in this one, but the plot also gets kind of heavy and really fast paced, and I can't turn the page fast enough, and I just want more. I love this. 5 stars, obviously. It's probably still my favorite in the series, but we'll see. I'm currently reading the 3rd book and loving it. I'm only like 100 pages in, so I'm not far into it at all. But like I said, I've read it before. Loved it. So yeah, I recommend this. This was a great ending to February's reading. Loved it. Like I said, I can't wait to continue this series. And I hope you pick it up if you haven't. All right, so that was my reading month, that, you know, my 10 books that I read in February. I'd love to know if you read any of those books and what you thought of them. Also, tell me what your top read of the month was for February. Like I said, I'm pretty sure mine was Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon, because I don't want rereads to count. But Barbarian Lover is probably my favorite. I really, really, really enjoyed that one. I just had a smile on my face the whole time. And I swear to God, I read it in like one sitting. So great. But yeah, let me know what your top read of the month was. And also, as a bonus, I got some book mail yesterday, and I thought I'd share what I got. I'm on Facebook, and in those like recommendation, like book recommendation groups, and everyone and their sister has been like screaming about these 2 books by 2 different authors, but they're saying they're so great. So I was feeling a little bit FOMO. I don't want to miss out. So I got The Mercenary and the Mortician by Alexandra St. Pierre. I'm super excited. I want to go in blind. I have no idea. I have no idea what this is about, but everyone is talking about this. And then I'm pretty sure you could probably guess the 2nd book, right? Make Me by Alina May. The cover. Come on. This one I'm pretty sure is MMM. So it's Ronan, Logan, and Dakota. This one is Callum and Ryan. I'm super excited. I cannot believe how thick this book is, but look how floppy. I mean, love it. I just want to show these off. I don't know when I'm going to get to them, because like I said, I'm reading Blood and Ash right now, but I've heard amazing things about these books. I cannot wait to get into them. If you've read them, let me know. No spoilers, but let me know. Are they good? Are they worth it? I'm super excited to crack these babies open and see what they're all about. All right, so with that being said, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Stick around. I'm getting into the groove of filming these videos, and I can't wait to bring more content for you guys. If you have any suggestions on content you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments. My last video, a few of you guys have left really sweet, nice comments, and I really appreciate that. When I uploaded it, I didn't think I was going to get any comments or any views. I know I haven't gotten a lot of views at this point that I'm filming this, but I don't care. Everyone's been super sweet and super nice, and let me know, like I said, let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see from me. My daughter was saying I should do a bookshelf tour, but I don't know. Let me know what you want to see from me, and we can go from there. Also, remember, please let me know your top book of February. I'd love to know. I'd love to get more ideas for my TBR, and so add more books to my shelf. I love that. Then if that's it, I think I will let you guys go, and I'll see you in my next video. All right, bye guys.